in-depth takes, initials and password games, shows from golf carts, and behind-the-scene content. Search KFAN on YouTube and hit subscribe today, or go to KFAN.com/watch.
Golf Day Minnesota is on Saturday. This will be the third annual Golf Day Minnesota. The MGA, let's face it, they got the idea from Hockey Day Minnesota. And it will be at the Meadows at Mystic Lake. And we'll be broadcasting live from the Meadows at Mystic Lake. You're welcome to make a tee time and join us out there. They're also going to have festivities over at Launchpad. If you are just out playing golf anywhere in Golf Day Minnesota, go ahead and take a picture of your golf day and then get it over to the MGA on their website, and they'll post stuff, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's this coming Saturday. You're more than welcome to join us for the broadcast. You got a great golf mind. We're going to be there from 10 until noon.
Listen, it was fun being out there yesterday.
Yes.
With you guys and chit-chatting with a lot of the legends who are out there for the Vikings tournament, raising money for their foundation, and it's always entertaining.
Do you care to name any of them?
Oh, you want to get ready for the dings? Yeah. Well, Paul Krause, I talked to Common about this, the story he told me on the air. I ran into him. Paul likes to chat, and that's great. I love him. That he has this great photograph of his first interception when he was with Washington, leaping over the iconic Jim Brown to make his first interception. Someone happened to get a great picture of it, so he said, "You got to come out to my place."
Not as famous as the picture of you at the World Series.
Oh, not even close. No, 65.
1965.
No, I was actual.
That's a famous
video,
photo.
actually, more than
right.
Yeah, and then of course, just you guys are on. I love your golf cart bit. That was really good.
I see it seemed to be well received.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
I think people liked it. I would say, here's what's interesting: overwhelming response, unprecedented response from the audience. Nothing from the coroner's office. Not even a slap on the back.
I just left his office because he's in the midst of moving eventually to the new digs.
Well, he might want to get a move on that because the deadline's today.
I understand that. I think he's waiting for a stand-up desk.
Well, then he did the bit. He goes, today was the deadline for some of the people acting like
I'm above this.
He just lords it over us. It's really sad.
So he didn't say, well, I would give you the feedback.
Yeah, he gave unprecedented response from the listeners, nothing from the coroner's office.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
someone's either lazy, stupid, or both.
I always love that one.
And here's what I told him. So after the show was over, I went and had a little something to eat. I was talking to Bob, Time for Two More, Hagen, Tom West.
Yeah, those guys were there all day.
All of a sudden, they started ripping Abbott just out of nowhere. Going after him. And I'm like,
man,
that kind of took me aback because I always thought they were pretty tight.
Right.
So then I started sticking up for Abbott. They kept ripping him. And then I thought, well, they're having a lot of fun ripping it. So I piled on too, and the three of us just sat there and shot at Abbott behind his back for, I bet, half hour, 45 minutes. It was so much fun.
They have a lot of stories. They've had to deal with them for a long time.
Trust me.
So, it was fun. Johnny Randall, of course, one of a kind, talking with him.
Where's the ding? There we go. Thank you.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, I think, a lot of those guys were, obviously, when I was on the hour with you on the show, most of them were still on the course, so I didn't get a chance to see too many of them. But
did you stick around for afterwards and have a little something to eat?
I did not.
Oh yeah,
I got out of there. I wanted to beat the traffic. We were having an early dinner last night, so I wanted to get home. It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
Murray's? Ocean Air?
That's coming up.
Capitol Grill?
No. But Murray's is coming up. Her mom and dad are celebrating their 65th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations!
And so we're gonna celebrate over there.
I guarantee.
Right before my knee surgery.
I will tell you this.
Yes, sir.
You had seafood yesterday.
I did not.
No, that's kind of surprising. I thought you were almost.
No. In fact, I had a small steak, and I didn't eat that. I didn't eat enough of it. I will put it this way. I have enough for leftovers, so I'm going to put it in the skillet when I get home tonight because Karn has plans tonight, so I'm going to.
Are you more of, when it comes to cuts, ribeye, T-bone, mignon, porterhouse, New York?
Overall, I'm more of a filet mignon, basically like your show.
Yeah.
But I understand, and I've had, I grill steaks on the grill, and sometimes there's a bone in the flavor.
You do the grilling?
Yeah, that's my thing. The taste is exquisite.
T-bone is my favorite.
Yeah, and
especially the filet mignon part of the T-bone.
Yeah, I mean, if you got obviously some of the steak cuts, I'm not an expert on.
Ribeye has a lot of marbling.
Exactly.
But that's where, let's face it, that's where the flavor is.
Yeah. But we learned how to put what's the word? I can't believe. Olive oil on the steak, which really, instead of smothering it with A1 or whatever, Heinz 57, you put olive oil on it that we got, and it's so good.
Blakemore, see if on the Dark Star page you can find when Dark talks about grilling steaks.
Does he? Did he really? Oh,
see if you can find the best.
It's the best. This time of year is the best for grilling anything.
I have seen that. It is right here.
Here it is.
Filet is nice. Get yourself a grill of some form. Go about 4.5 minutes on each side, so it'll be charred. Put butter on it. Put it back on for 90 seconds, both sides. You'll eat your way right through the grill. You won't even be able to stop yourself when you get to the charcoal.
I love
You'll
the grill.
Eat yourself
Dark.
right.
He's right. He's Dark. You're spot on.
The most difficult thing for a steak is I don't like most people. I think if you're a steak, aficionado, you like it rare. I don't like my steak
I don't either.
Rare. I don't.
No.
But I don't like it well
red.
done either.
No,
I like it medium. However, sometimes a restaurant, the medium will be still a little too, it's closer to medium rare. And it's like, so now some of these restaurants go with what they call a medium plus.
Yes, a lot of them.
And I like a medium to medium plus. And I don't like sending back food, unless I have to. But it's one of the reasons why I don't eat steak out very often. I don't either, honestly. I generally don't, because I always fear I'm going to be that guy that, I got to send it back. And then they send it back. And then everybody else is eating theirs, and you're just sitting there. Yeah. And you're watching everybody eat. Then they bring it back, and there you have it. Now you get started. So I just, I like to, generally, if I go to a restaurant, I like to have their specialty dishes. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I've always been kind of a meat and potatoes guy, but I like to go to a place that might have some type of whatever. They have different types of the chef he's created something special. You'll have some kind of like up at the Classic Grill the other day, they had a salad that was their summer salad, which had goat cheese, and it had, I think it had some walnuts, and I mean, it just, I just like when chefs actually create their own specialty dishes.
It can be a lot more inventive this time of year with salads too, especially now with farmers market, kind of springing into action, and really the vegetables and the tomatoes, everything is really good right now.
You and I should do a recipe cooking podcast. What do you think?
I'm at that point, when I really hit full retirement, I want to try to take some I do want to take some aggressive kind of cooking classes. I want to learn a lot more. I do. I think I watch not just Stanley Tucci, going to Stanley Tucci. He was in your favorite movie, Devil Wears Prada, 1 and 2. Okay. But he did a whole thing about cooking across Italy, and even before, and he grew up in that family. But I just think the passion that they have for cooking, and I'm fascinated. I know enough chefs in town to really say, look, I would like to take some classes. I took them years ago, but I have more time now, and I'd like to learn some really good recipes. It's fun. It's a lot. It's really it's rewarding when you kind of help create. Yeah, I mean, look at what Potato does for you every single night.
But she's the one rattling the pots.
I know, but it could you could jump in now. Instead of going to play another 18.
I've told the story before.
Get the hell out of the kitchen
when I was responsible for lunch occasionally for the boys, and I'd take some hot dogs and throw it in a pan of water.
I used to do that.
Take some baked beans, and I'd open the can, and I'd dump them in, and I'd heat them up, and I'd give them to Deuce and Baby Brother Peter, and it was just so classic. Deuce is eating his hot dog and his beans. He goes, "Dad, you're a great cooker."
So what did he say? Deuce said that?
He thought I was a great cooker.
Yeah.
All I did was boiled some hot dogs and warmed up some beans, and he loved it.
We got some brats lately. You know what you do is put those in, mix up a little beer and just...
What? I don't drink anymore.
You don't have to drink. It's not, you're not going to get drunk from having the beer and the brats. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got more to get to with the legendary one, Mark Rosen, Common Man, and Brett Blakemore here on The Fan.
You're listening to Roller Coaster Rosen.
Blake Amphitheater. The Guess Who will be there June 25th.
Close to the edge, just by the river, down by the edge, round by the corner.
311.
I'll be the roundabout. The words will make you out and out. I'll spend the day your way.
And the Dirty Heads.
Hold on. No, I had one here in the back of my mind. Lido.
Nailed
it. One more time ought to do it.
They'll be there July 11th. One more. And John Mellencamp.
Big balls in Cowtown, living on the ground, eating saltine crackers, 10 cents a pound.
They'll be there July 14th. You can get complete details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
The legendary one, Mark Rosen, is here. Your Twins club won again. That's 2 in a row now, right?
Yeah, 2 in a row, although they're losing this afternoon on getaway day.
I didn't know they were
I watched,
playing.
they sneak up on you. I saw the first inning. In fact, Taj Bradley gave up, I think, all 4 runs in the first inning. It's pretty well, but now they're not hitting the ball. I think they only have 2 hits today. So, they had 2 out of 3 is probably the way it's going to turn out. But, they hit the ball around the park a little bit last night. And, I'm anxious. We were talking, I think I was talking, when will Royce Lewis get the call to come back? I know they're monitoring him very closely. He's, hitting home run after home run. They're moving him now. It sounds like they're moving him to the right side of the infield. We've talked about this a little bit. Trying him out at second base and at first base. The Twins don't have it. Josh Bell's played over there. Clemens has played over there. Maybe Royce would be the guy. I don't know. I think they just have to find a way of getting his bat in the lineup sooner than later. I mean, I don't know what. It's a rhetorical question. But I don't know what much good he's going to do to be down in St. Paul any longer than what he's been, where he's been, spanking the ball and hitting home runs, a bunch of home runs.
Maybe he's just
made to be a AA player.
Well, it's AAA plus, like we talked about.
That's true.
We talked about medium plus stakes. Maybe he's a 3A plus, but he's not. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the only thing you can look at is when he first came up with the club, he had a great stretch for a short period of time. So, it's obvious.
A lot of it might be between his ears, and a lot of it, may he just needed the reset button. And it's happened to a lot of great major league players over the years. Even the great Willie Mays was sent down to the minors, to the Minneapolis Millers, before they called him up. So I can't hit. Leo DeRocher, I can't hit. He was like in tears. I can't hit the ball. I can't hit. Well, I'm not comparing him with Royce Lewis.
We call him Leo the Lip, is what we call him.
But I just think it's at the point now.
How many of our listeners know who Leo DeRocher is?
Not many.
Yeah, he was a long-time
great ball
manager
player,
and a ball player, but that was from back in the days, from that famous photo of you.
Yeah. No, I don't think
about
Leo
that same
was
period
involved.
of time.
Yeah, no, he was.
But it was about that same
Brooklyn
period
Dodgers.
Of time.
Oh. Jackie Robinson, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, it seems a matter of time, especially with the Twins, needing more and more offensively, and they don't have those. Royce Lewis has got to come back up, and maybe it'll happen this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But they're losing, and they'll take 2 out of 3 either way, unless they come back in this game. It's only 4-0. It's not the end of the world.
This game's not over.
No, God, no.
We're that kind of a team.
Most dangerous lead in baseball.
Yeah, we can strike quick.
Of course we can.
We're pretty good.
Grand slam the other night. So.
We're a pretty good club. This one says, I love how Rosen acts like he cooks his own meals. We all know he employs a full-time personal chef.
Okay, that must be from Larry Mindell.
No, it's not. It's from
a full-time chef.
Well, you have this image, the legendary
Who
Mark
would that
Rosen.
chef be?
I don't know. Who is it?
I talk about
Andrew Zimmern?
No, I haven't seen Andrew in quite a while.
Guy Fieri?
David Fema, all my good restaurant friends in town.
How about Gordon Ramsay?
No, never met Gordon Ramsay. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, of course I know who he is.
Well, we say of course.
I like watching.
Not everybody
honestly,
knows who he is.
As much as I like watching cooking shows, I'm more into Property Brothers and on HGTV.
I can say I don't know Property Brothers.
Well, they do the.
I could say, of course I do, but I don't know.
The Fixer Uppers. Oh. There's a whole series of shows about people. There could be lottery winners that are looking to spend. They're not necessarily like people who've won $80 million, but they have $800,000 or something to spend after winning the lottery, and they want to get a new home. There's that kind of show. There's the other ones where they just want to move out and they find the right property, and they take them to 3 or 4 different homes, and it's kind of fun to watch that stuff. So I've been into that a little bit more. I like the cooking shows as well.
How about Hank Meadows?
Hank Meadows.
Do you remember Hank Meadows?
Of course I do.
Channel 11.
I'm one of the few people listening right now, or
You're
actually
the only person that knows.
Hank Meadows. No, I do not have a personal.
I talked about Hank Meadows on the air, and his daughter. This was years ago. His daughter sent me a note that said, I just can't believe you mentioned my dad on the radio.
Yeah, that's a great story, and it's sort of similar to one I had when I was talking about Roger Awesome. You know who that is, of course.
That's Casey Jones.
Casey Jones, and I was talking about, and his son called me, I think, at WCCO, and said, "My dad," and I was like, it's one of those things where, no, pinch me. I mean, lunch with Casey was a staple for every kid growing up during that time. He said, "My dad, I think he finished up in the Brainerd area, doing radio in that area. He watches you all the time." And, oh my God, you just made my day.
Are you
lunch with Casey?
Are you familiar with Marie Callender?
Marie Callender,
Callender, her name is.
I don't.
She has all sorts of food in the frozen food section. Marie Callender. She must be a chef of some ill repute. How about Chef Boyardee?
I've opened up plenty of Chef Boyardee.
So you're familiar with Chef Boyardee?
Yeah, SpaghettiOs.
How about Chef Mike?
No.
Well, of course you do. Microwave oven. Chef
microwave oven. Yes, I've done that many a time. Yeah. I don't know how we survived early on how did our parents do it without microwave ovens? They just warmed them up on the stove. No such thing.
I know when you become, because you say you're going to become excellent. You're going to start taking cooking classes.
I'm not going to be excellent. I just want to learn more. Yeah. I'm curious about it.
When are you going to do these classes?
When?
Yeah.
Probably not that long from now.
Well, why don't you could start? You're only working 3 hours a week.
No, I know. I could start any time. But
why don't you start now?
Well, because I like to take them with Karen. I would like to do a couples thing, because she likes to cook, but she'd like to get better at certain things as well. And I think, again, when we traveled to Italy, we had a chef come over. We did have a chef come over, and we got to work with pasta and learn how to use to cook the sauce and all that kind of stuff. That's what really kind of spurred my interest a little bit more. But yeah, it's an art.
You could open up a restaurant called Rosen's. What do you think of that? No, it's a great idea.
That's a really good idea. No, I know enough between Gavin and David FEMA to understand what it takes to run a restaurant. I was in the business for a while.
Yep.
Good luck. I mean, it's harder now than ever before.
How about you start a food truck called Michelin Marks?
That I'd rather do. The food trucks are enticing. They're interesting. I'm sure the cost, like everything else, but you don't have the overhead of the actual space you're leasing or whatever. But obviously, they're not inexpensive to run. But
can you pull up let's say you have a Mexican food truck. Yeah. Can you pull up in front of Chipotle, or is that against the law?
I think you're kind of restricted as far as where you can go.
Are you really?
Yeah, I think there are certain...
Because that seems like it should be against the law.
Right when I drive home, when I go down near the stadium, there's got to be on is it 4th? Yeah. There has to be 7 or 8 trucks just lined up every day over the lunch hour that people who work around that area just can pop out. And I mean, that's been a phenomenon it's basically having 7 or 8 different restaurants within a 1 block area. You can go from station to station or whatever it might be. And I'm sure they're profitable for a lot of people, and they're a lot of work, but it's great to see.
Food truck with hot dogs. You can take a bite, go back to the truck and put some relish on it. Take another bite, go back and put some onions on it. Go out and take a bite, come back.
I'd have to have one with sloppy joes. That's what I would do. That's the one food.
Well, you know what they created? I don't know if somebody else has done this, but up at Freddy's, which is the bar restaurant at the Pines at Grandview Lodge. Mm-hmm. I don't know who came up with the idea, but they do sloppy joes, but they put them in a hot dog bun. It's the greatest idea in the history of ideas, because it does a sloppy joe. They call it a sloppy joe because if it's a hamburger bun, it's falling all out on
your arm.
But if you have it in a hot dog,
I never thought of that.
It works perfectly. I'm telling you, it's.
I think if I had a choice between, if someone said you have a choice to have a hot dog, a hamburger, or sloppy joes the rest of your life in terms of one of those 3 foods, 100% every single time.
Here's the other thing, and I don't know who came up with the invention, because it's I don't know how recent it is, but if you have a hard shell taco, you set it down on your plate, it falls over. It falls over. Now they have those taco holder things, and it's like I mean, of all the inventions, I guess number 1 would be fire.
Fire would be right up there.
And then the wheel, that would be really good too. And then I think it's taco holders for me. Third on the list.
Man.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, this has been an interesting half hour for us.
Marie Callender has a chain of restaurants in California, and then she went on to the frozen food thing.
Well,
you could start frozen foods too.
A lot of things it could do. You got to find new ways to.
I think you finally found your calling.
I might. I'm going to keep investigating this. If anybody want to jump on board with me, let me know.
Michelin Mark. I think it's perfect. We'll take a break. We'll come back. One more segment to go here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
He's the pride of St. Louis Park. Just ask him.
You get your restaurant started, right?
I'm all ears.
And then you go, we talked about Marie Callender. She started she had a chain of restaurants in California, and then she went into frozen food. You could be Rosen food.
Rosen.
Think about it. Rosen's frozen food.
Well, I got to get some partners together on this idea. You're getting my brain working a little bit more today on all this. You have to keep reinventing yourself. I'm trying to give advice to younger people like the guy sitting in the booth.
Maybe you could start an advice column.
Who doesn't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Yeah,
I know, but if he doesn't,
I understand
people
that.
Have food phobias.
No, we have enough of those people around here.
Do you have frozen Rosen chicken tenders?
I'll make it work for you.
Okay, thank you.
But it is, it's fun to kind of just look for new challenges, and not that this is ever going to happen, but at least.
What do you mean? Well, why isn't it going to happen? Why don't you live your dream?
Well, it's something hasn't been my dream. I've just sort of been thinking about it lately, just by taking more cooking classes. But it is fun to. I stepped out and did get in the restaurant business for a while. That was, wow. As it turned out, we opened up in 91. It was not a bad year to open up. We opened up. Twins went to the World Series. We had the Final Four here, the Super Bowl here, International Special Olympics. We had the snowstorm of the century, of course. Everything was going great, and then all of a sudden, all of the Twin Cities shut down, of course, with that snowstorm, 2 days in a row, basically. I thought, oh my God, this is awful. And it came back, and we had a lot of fun. But yeah, it was fun to be involved with it, but I'd like to be involved in a different way right now. And more discussions I have with people running restaurants.
Like with an apron on and a chef's you want to be cooking the food at the restaurant? I wouldn't mind
learning a little bit about that aspect of it, but I just think the business itself and too many discussions is really, really harder now than ever before because of food costs and just getting the right space, the right traffic. But the food truck thing does sound interesting. I don't know enough about it.
Well, I don't know if this is true, but I've always heard that for a restaurant, if you can get through the first year, you got a pretty good chance to survive that first year. Yeah,
it's just, I think that's true to a certain extent, but, they're depending on your location. But, it's just really more challenging. When I did my podcast with David Fema a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about how.
I've met David before.
If you buy a $50 steak at a restaurant, you might make $5 of profit after you're all said and done with everything else that goes into the cost of that steak. And it shows you how difficult it is. You think you're spending that they're making all that money. It just doesn't work that way. But, there are people who do well, and he's done well, obviously, but he's also closed a lot of them as well. It's a fascinating business, but it's intoxicating too once you get into it.
I met him at, he had a restaurant in St. Paul called Faces. It was off of Rice Street Park.
Yeah. One of 17.
And I was there to. I was going to be the Grand Marshal. Tenneby and I were going to be in the St. Patrick's St. Paul Day Parade. So I was looking for a place to eat in the morning. And they opened up around 10 or so, and I went in and said, "Are you open?" Yeah, and I served it. And all of a sudden, his wife worked the restaurant. And David did too. And he came out and he talked to me. And he whipped me up something about what was really cool is these chefs that are really good at what they do.
Yeah,
and it's good for customer business. They know how to do it. Where like he had these creative meals that were in these ceramic pots, right? He had all the different kinds of food. I am sure David's done all sorts of different kinds of restaurants with different types of cuisines. But like we're looking at the menu, and he looks at my wife and goes, I can make anything you want. You tell me what you want, and I'll make it right now. Really? Yeah. She gave him a list of ingredients. Boom, bang. Here it was. He brought it out. And it's like, it wasn't on the menu, you know? And so now I don't know if you do that, if a chef does that for every single person that walks in the door, but, you know, if you meet a new customer and you want them to I would think this is how it works. You want them to become a regular customer. You go a little above and beyond every once in a while, and then people don't forget those things.
David's one of the most unique people I've ever met in my life. I've known him for a long time, but when I did the podcast with him, I didn't realize he was one of 17 kids growing up in Morocco.
17?
One bathroom. Can you imagine? And you think about sharing. You grew up with your older brother. Sharing a bedroom with your brother or whatever, he had to share a bed with. I mean, one would have to sleep one way, someone would have to sleep the other way.
I'm going to have to share a golf cart with Blake.
Well, that's going to be uncomfortable enough.
I'm not even looking.
No, I don't blame you. But yeah, he's that's why his energy level is off the charts. Yeah. He's never stopped.
Tonight, game 1.
Yes, indeed.
NBA Finals. The San Antonio Spurs will be hosting the New York Knickerbockers. Your thoughts?
Well, I hope, it would be a real feather in the cap of the Knicks so they could continue this streak that they've been on. And it's just, as they say, an upgrade in opponents right now, facing the Spurs on their home court with Wemby. And it's good that I think Mitchell Robinson's been cleared to play. He had surgery on his right hand. He's not a guy that's going to score, more double-digit points, but gives you another physical force in there to, maybe push Wemby around for a little bit, pick up some falls and make it difficult for him. But it's going to be a real challenge, I think, for the Knicks to kind of hang in there this first game. I don't know. They've been sitting on their butts, of course, they've been practicing and watching and waiting for that OKC San Antonio series to get over with. But this would be something that they could steal for the first game and see if Cat can do it. But it should be an intriguing series. I hope it is.
There's also the possibility that they're rested and ready, too. Just because they've been on a long time, they might be ready to go. They're chomping at the bit to get back out there. I think that's
a lot of it. I don't think these guys
machine ready to go.
I think long as Jalen Brunson can do his thing and get inside, I'm anxious to see how he, because he likes to attack the basket, and he's got that little floater he likes to throw off the backboard, and doing that against Wemby takes a different skill set that very few people have been able to do, if any. There's no answer for his physical talents, and so, I'm sure they'll be pumped up in San Antonio, but not like it's going to be when they go back to New York for games 3 and 4. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching it tonight to see. I watched more. We talked about this yesterday. I watched a good share of that hockey game. I got back from dinner, and it was turned out to be a really good hockey game. Vegas is cagey. That
was last night.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. What a bad break for me.
But I said, Vegas and Carolina not exactly natural rivals. It's going to turn out, if it turns out to be a great series, and it probably will, people who are watching it are going to get into it because it's like, I see where they're a good matchup. That's all you want in a championship series, no matter what sport you're watching, especially when you got 4 out of 7. It was a good start for the Stanley Cup final last night, and I hope the NBA can follow suit because now they're playing every other night and they're on the same network. So it's kind of interesting. You don't have to they're all on ABC. So, you don't have to go very far to, search your channels to find out where it's on.
Coming off of the Game 7 victory for San Antonio on the road against OKC, and as we know, they're a young team, and one of those conventional wisdom things that I think a lot of people, it's convenient and easy to go with as a take. I've always thought that can be an issue, I guess, but I think it's overblown, and that would be how young a team is. Here's a piece that says, Thunder, than the defending champs, they were more aggressive getting to their spots. They better use their physicality. And in the most surprising twist, they were more poised, handling every crowd chant, every Thunder run with maturity that they shouldn't possess. All because, again, they're all 22, 23, 24. I think that's the most overblown. Well, these players that play, I don't care how young you are, they have been playing basketball since they were 3 and 4 years old. They have played at high levels, at at travel basketball, at AAU, at college, and they have been in the pros for a year or two, and they've played some playoff games. Once the game starts, I'm just telling you, I guarantee you more times, this idea that veteran savvy is such a big bet, and it can be at certain times. Mm-hmm. To me, it's more of an individual thing. That blanket statement that bunch of young kids, how are they able to do that and get to the finals and be that mature? It's because they play basketball and they live for this and they can't wait, and it's not that big of a deal. Once we talk about when people go, let's say one player has a contract, he's at a contract stalemate, then the media will go up to his teammates and go, so is his contract stalemate? Is it a distraction? And I want to say, I hope he gets what he wants, but I can't worry. No, when I'm out in the field playing and I've got, I've got, who's the guy that the Browns just traded? Myles Garrett?
Yes.
When I got to try to block Myles Garrett on a 3rd and 12, I'm not thinking about the contract negotiation for the right tackle or yada your mind. I think sometimes being young can also be a virtue and be a plus because you don't know any better. You just go out there and play better. You're not going, the gravity of the situation. Look at here. We're in a Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, and I'm only 22 years old. Big deal.
It's not so much just being young, but highly skilled. And this is why Chris Finch today, I heard him with PA, both the Spurs and OKC. And he's right. It's not bitter. They got rewarded for tanking for a bunch of years. They just did. This is why Adam Silver's changing the rules as finally. You can't reward, if you do it 1 year. But did
they tank or did they just have bad teams?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a combination, but they put themselves in a position where they could tank.
Have you got bad players?
It's his words, not mine. But I'm just saying that you're not just getting 21, 22-year-old players. You're getting the best of them. And like Chris Finch said, look, this isn't to denigrate any of the young players on my team, like a Terrence Shannon, who's a little older, actually. But, but you're not getting the same quality of young players as the Spurs and OKC were getting.
Well, they have their chance, and they got a kid with the 8th round pick and have to trade him. What was the kid's name again? They just traded him.
Who are you talking about?
Wolves. They drafted a young guy, 8th overall.
Dillingham?
Yeah. Well, they made a bad pick. Too bad they didn't get Champagnie or Harper. That's on them.
No, it's happened.
That's their fault.
But when you can do it for a series of years and years and years. Yeah. That's all I'm saying is that I'm not, faulting. Those are the rules. Now they're going to change them because these teams have been rewarded. The Wolves got, fortunate when they got Anthony Edwards. At least they struck gold. They got Karl Anthony Towns when they did. But no, it's not just a matter of just being young. It's being that skilled. And these teams are, and
that's why I think the youth thing to me is a little overblown. And we're supposed to be so surprised that these young guys can handle that pressure. That's what they play for.
No, it's 100%. They're not affected by it right now.
And you and I both talked about this. I'd like to see Big Meow, a Bodega Cat, have a good series. I'd like to see them win. And it's like, because, you go back to, and maybe you probably remember better than I do. Even during their woebegone days, and he was part of those, I don't ever remember him demanding a trade, complaining about anything. And he was as instrumental in getting to the Western Conference Finals that first year as Gobert was, and Ant, and anybody else on that club. Nas Reed, he was just as important. Then all of a sudden, they're getting ready to go to make that next run again, and all of a sudden, 3 days before the season, they trade him out of nowhere. And my guess is he was as surprised as anybody, and he was stunned, and I think he was hurt, and he wanted to stay here. He wanted to see the thing through, but you don't get to make that decision, right? That's if you don't have no trade clause.
The business aspect of the sport reared its ugly head, and it is too bad. But I think I'd like to think most people in Minnesota, Timberwolves fans, it isn't going to be like, of course, figure be another ex-Minnesota athlete we trade. It's going to end up winning a championship like Garnett did, and there's a bunch of others as well that. No, I hope not. I certainly don't feel that way. I'd love to see Cat, hold up the Larry O'Brien trophy and get a chance to win a championship. It'd be very emotional for him, and given the devastation that his family's gone through, the personal losses, and just the way he treated people here in Minnesota, and got involved in the community beyond his basketball skills. So I'm 100% Cat behind Cat, and love to see them. Win the championship. Plus the fact that, I've been deep down I'm not saying a Knicks fan, but I love the fact they have New York of all, think about the New York, you think about the New York Yankees. It's all about the Yankees. It's all about, the Knicks, this would be arguably one of the biggest deals in modern times for a New York sports team since it's been 1973 since they won a championship. You talk about a ticker tape parade down Canyon Drive, whatever they call it. this would be one for the books if they happen to win a championship. You don't want to be in New York City if they won a title. It would be Philadelphia-like or New Orleans-like or whatever it might be. I don't know, but it would be a big day, big moment for New York fans.
Will Cat recognize Rosen when he sees him courtside at MSG for Game 3? Are you going?
Yes. Charlie got me tickets.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Kidding. Those tickets are going for right next to Ben Stiller and Timothy Chalamet. I'm going to be sitting right next to those guys.
Spike Lee still go to games?
Oh, of course. Oh my God, he's like the mascot.
Is he?
He wouldn't miss this.
I guess I haven't watched a Knicks game in a long time.
Yeah, he'll be wearing his colors. He'll be sitting. He'll probably be. I'm anxious to see. I don't know how it does in San Antonio because Spike Lee goes to all those games, playoff games. So I'm sure he had to spend whatever $80,000 or whatever it might be to get a ticket.
Or do you think they're just complimentary from?
No.
How do you know?
I guarantee you they weren't complimentary.
I don't know.
I don't think they want Spike Lee, in their building. But I don't know how many Knick fans will be there and have access to tickets. Some of these places they try to shut that down. OKC did a really good job of that. Sort of letting visiting teams.
I bet Spike Lee had complimentary tickets.
I don't think he doesn't care. He's got the money.
Well, I'm not saying, but
from who?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but people that are really well known have a lot of money and can pay for anything. Yet a lot of times they don't pay for anything.
I know, but I'm just trying to figure out who would. I mean, he'd be happy because in order to get a front row ticket, which is where he will sit, it's like that character Jimmy Goldstein who spends hundreds of thousands of dollars going to NBA games.
I think he gets some
Spike. I don't know. Whatever. He'll. I'm sure he'll be there tonight.
Like if you go to a restaurant, like a really fancy pants restaurant, and.
The guy.
If you walk in and go, if I walk in and go, hey, you got a table, and tables are all gone, sir. Okay. If you walk in, Mark Rosen, next thing you know, they always have a table. There's always a table available. There is. There's always a table available for the Anthony Edwardses, for the Johnny Randalls, for the Mark Rosens.
I can't remember ever just walking. I can't remember last time I walked into a really nice restaurant and done anything like that. I'm always making reservations.
I'm just saying, I'm using you as an example of the beautiful people. The maitre d' at a restaurant always has a table available. If you're going to tell me if Anthony Edwards walked into a restaurant at 7:00 at Ocean Air, they would look at him and say, "We don't have a table for you, Mr. Edwards." No. They're going to find a table for Mr. Edwards. Trust me.
It's like Goodfellas. They'll create space for him.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So they will find a table for Anthony Edwards. They will find a table for you at Mickey Mantle's.
Mickey Mantle's. I wish I was going to New York for that Game 3. But
you ever been to Mickey Mantle's?
I have.
Yeah.
It's a nice
place.
Right.
It's Mick's place.
Yes,
well, it was
Mick's place. Yeah,
he's dead.
It was Toots Shores was. Excuse me. A place called Toots Shores was the place where all the Yankee players used to go after the games. Whitey, Yogi, Mickey. Well, that's where Mickey had a lot of his. Again, he'll tell you. I mean, he'll tell you. He told everybody in his waning days. I wasted my life drinking.
Me too.
I know, but I mean, he says I'm not a role model for anybody. Me
too.
Yeah, he was in tears talking about it. I could have been, not so much from a ball playing standpoint, although his injuries, ravaged him at the end, but his lifestyle ravaged him. Yeah. That was the way it was, and he said, "Don't look at me as a role model."
Do you think Game 3 tickets at MSG are available to anybody and everyone?
Well, they're available if you want to spend about $80,000. I mean, obviously the nosebleeds. I'm sure that they're like anything else. You can probably get some tickets for a couple grand, but that's probably the low end. Going to MSG, for just to get into the building. Yeah, I went on StubHub, I think, just for the hell of it, and I looked in that court. I mean, around the courtside area, they're going for $40,000 or something for a game. Astonishing. Yeah, that's going to be the one to watch. I don't know when Game 3 is, but the scene.
It's after Game 2.
Well, at Madison Square Garden. I mean, that place is special. So, first things first. Tonight is Game 1. We only have about a minute to talk. I assume you caught up a little bit on our new GM today, the Vikings GM.
I didn't hear a word he had to say. My guess was a lot of GM speak.
Well, it was. I mean, it's people, they had the reporters were able to ask questions about the collaborative effort. I mean, this is
collaboration.
Listen, I will tell you this, and it's interesting.
You like
to say,
him?
Well, no, I don't have an opinion about him right now. I love the fact that he comes from an organization like we talked about joking yesterday. They spent all that money on that search group. They just went, let's just look at the Seattle.
DRG
Who won the Super Bowl? Who won the Super Bowl last year? But for the Brett Blakemores of the world, for everybody who's when you listen to Nolan talk about, he sent letters to all 32 teams.
Yeah.
And this is about the story, forgetting where he's at right now.
We talked about that the day before.
Yeah,
we talked about that. Yeah, he was doing a different kind of job, and he decided, I want to get back to football because he played in the NFL. And then, but of course, it was, I think he got his job because he knew a guy who knew a guy who got
Well, that's normally the way it works, but he also got basically no response back from 31 of the teams. But you got to be persistent about those things. So it doesn't matter what field you want to go into. I mean, if you can get your foot in the
Just
door.
like you did at WCCO TV all those years ago. Got your foot in the door.
100%. Yeah.
Now you got a
17 years old.
photograph when you were 11 years old.
I worked events for a year for the Fan before I got to.
And look at where you are now.
No, look at you now, man. Uh-huh. You're going to play golf with the common man this afternoon.
Right.
Who would have thunk it?
That's right. You want to go golfing? I got a spot for one.
I would love. I was out there at the golf course yesterday, and I was. This is why I'm having the surgery done. I got to get back out and doing that. It's not fun. Oh, just like that, we're done.
When's your surgery scheduled for? Soon?
Right around the State Fair.
State Fair. I pushed it back. The surgeon called me.
No, seriously.
The surgeon said, "Do you want to do it in June?" I went, "Can't you do it in August?
You're
like August,
unbelievable.
third week of August?"
You are unbelievable.
No, I got to get ready for I'm like a player. I got to get ready for the season, so I got to get it. No, it's in June 22nd, I think.
Well, we look forward to it.
I know. I can't wait to milk it as long.
I look forward to you being tomorrow.
I will be here tomorrow.
All right, very good. We'll see you at 2. Thanks for joining us.
Sir.
Brett Blakemore, we'll see you in about an hour.
Sounds good. Great job today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're back at 12 noon. Stick around. Tomorrow. Big ticket JG there next year on the Fan.
Adios. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Good night.
You don't know nothing.
Good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
I'm a fraud.
Yes.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.